Have you ever had a moment that completely changed the trajectory of your life? A chance encounter that seemed small at first but ended up rewriting your entire future? If you've experienced something like this, or dream of such a turning point, this story will resonate deep in your soul. Like, subscribe, and join me on this journey of unexpected kindness that proves sometimes our greatest blessings come from our darkest moments. The invitation sat on Marcus Wilson's kitchen counter for 3 weeks before he finally decided to go. It was cream-colored with gold embossing, clearly expensive, announcing a garden party at the Henderson estate. The same Henderson estate owned by his late boss's widow. Marcus ran his calloused fingers over the elegant lettering, wondering why Patricia Henderson would invite him, of all people, to what was clearly going to be an upscale gathering. "Dad, are we having mac and cheese again?" 8-year-old Lily padded into the kitchen in her mismatched pajamas, her curly hair a wild tangle around her small face. Marcus forced a smile. "Is that okay, sweetheart? I promise we'll have something different tomorrow." "You said that yesterday," Lily pointed out, but climbed onto a kitchen stool without further complaint. The truth was, Marcus was barely keeping it together. Since Robert Henderson's sudden heart attack 3 months ago, the construction company had been in chaos. The new management had immediately started cutting costs, and Marcus, despite being one of the most experienced foremen, had his hours reduced to part-time. With a mortgage, mounting medical bills from his late wife's cancer treatments, and a daughter to raise alone, the financial pressure was crushing him. The invitation had come with a handwritten note: "Marcus, I know Robert always spoke highly of you. Please come. Patricia." He had only met Patricia Henderson a handful of times at company functions. She was always gracious but distant, the elegant wife of the wealthy company owner, moving in social circles far removed from his own. As he stirred the pot of mac and cheese, the 3rd time this week they were having it, Marcus made his decision. He would go to the party. Maybe networking with some of Robert's wealthy friends could lead to better job opportunities. He couldn't afford pride anymore. Saturday arrived with perfect early summer weather. Marcus stood in front of his bedroom mirror, adjusting the tie he hadn't worn since his wife's funeral 2 years ago. It felt tight, constricting, like it was choking him with the reminder of how much his life had changed. "You look handsome, Daddy," Lily said from the doorway, clutching her favorite stuffed rabbit. Marcus knelt down to her level. "Are you sure you're okay staying with Mrs. Patel next door? I won't be gone long." Lily nodded solemnly. "Mrs. Patel lets me help make samosas. And she has cable TV." The reminder of another luxury he could no longer afford stung, but Marcus kissed her forehead. "Be good, okay? I love you to the moon." And back and around the stars, Lily finished their ritual with a gap-toothed smile. The Henderson estate was even more impressive than Marcus remembered. Sprawling gardens surrounded the colonial-style mansion, and luxury cars lined the circular driveway. Marcus parked his 15-year-old Honda at the very end, suddenly acutely aware of how out of place he was. Guests in designer clothes mingled on the manicured lawn, champagne flutes glinting in the afternoon sun. Marcus tugged at his tie again, fighting the urge to turn around and leave. But the thought of Lily's hopeful face when he'd promised to bring home some party food for her gave him courage. "Marcus. You came." Patricia Henderson appeared beside him, elegant in a simple blue dress that probably cost more than his monthly salary. Her face showed the strain of recent grief, but her smile seemed genuine. "Mrs. Henderson, thank you for inviting me," Marcus said formally, extending his hand. She ignored it and embraced him instead. "Please, it's Patricia. Robert always said you were the backbone of the company's field operations." The unexpected warmth in her voice caught him off guard. "Your husband was a good man. The best boss I ever had." Patricia's eyes clouded briefly. "Yes, he was. Come, let me introduce you to some people." What followed was the most surreal 2 hours of Marcus's life. Patricia introduced him to everyone as Robert's right-hand man in the field, speaking about his expertise with such conviction that even Marcus almost believed he was more than just a foreman struggling to make ends meet. He met architects, developers, and business owners, people who would normally never give him a second glance. Patricia stayed by his side, smoothly steering conversations toward Marcus's experience and skills. It was only when she was briefly called away that Marcus found himself alone, taking refuge near a fountain at the edge of the garden. "She's something else, isn't she?" A silver-haired man in an impeccable suit approached, gesturing toward Patricia with his champagne glass. "She's been very kind," Marcus agreed cautiously. "I'm James Whitmore, old friend of Robert's." The man extended his hand. "Patricia told me about your situation." Marcus stiffened. "My situation?" "The company's new management. Cutting back your hours despite your experience." James shook his head. "Short-sighted fools. Robert would be furious." Embarrassment burned through Marcus. So this was charity, Patricia Henderson feeling sorry for the struggling single dad. "I should go," Marcus said abruptly. "Please thank Mrs. Henderson for her hospitality." "Wait." James handed him a business card. "My development company needs someone with hands-on experience to oversee our new project. Patricia speaks highly of you, and Robert's judgment was always sound. The position comes with full benefits and a significant salary increase from what you were making. Are you interested?" Marcus stared at the card, speechless. Before he could respond, Patricia returned. "I see James found you," she said with a smile. "Did he tell you about the position?" "Mrs. Henderson, Patricia, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I don't need charity," Marcus said quietly. Patricia's expression softened. "This isn't charity, Marcus. It's an investment. Robert always said you were wasted as just a foreman. He was planning to promote you to project manager before." She paused. "Before he ran out of time." "I didn't know that," Marcus said, his voice rough with emotion. "Robert believed in you. Now I'm just following through on what he wanted." She touched his arm gently. "And selfishly, it helps me feel like I'm honoring his memory." As the party wound down, Patricia walked Marcus to his car. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the immaculate lawn. "There's one more thing," she said, handing him an envelope. Robert had a life insurance policy that included provisions for key employees. "This is yours." Marcus opened the envelope and nearly dropped it when he saw the check inside. It was enough to pay off his remaining medical debt and make a significant dent in his mortgage. "I can't accept this," he whispered. "You can and you will," Patricia said firmly. "Robert valued loyalty above all else, and you were loyal to the end. He would want you to have it." Her voice softened. "Use it to take care of your daughter. Robert mentioned her often, Lily, right? He said she reminded him of our daughter when she was young." Marcus couldn't speak past the lump in his throat. He simply nodded. "How is she doing?" Patricia asked. Losing her mother so young must have been devastating. The genuine concern in her voice broke something open in Marcus. Before he knew it, he was telling Patricia everything, about his wife's long battle with cancer, about struggling to be both mother and father to Lily, about the crushing weight of debt and diminished prospects. Patricia listened without interruption, her eyes compassionate. When he finally fell silent, embarrassed by his outburst, she simply said, "Bring Lily to dinner next Friday. My daughter and grandchildren will be visiting. I think they'd all get along wonderfully." 6 months later, Marcus stood in the backyard of his new home, a modest but comfortable house in a good school district, purchased with help from his new salary and the insurance money. Lily was laughing as she played with Patricia's grandchildren, while Patricia and her daughter arranged food on the patio table. James Whitmore, now his boss, raised a glass in his direction. "Best hire I've made in years, Wilson." That West Side project came in under budget thanks to you. Marcus smiled, watching as Patricia showed Lily how to arrange flowers in a vase. The older woman had become a surrogate grandmother to his daughter and a trusted friend to him. What had begun as a reluctant appearance at a garden party had transformed into a new extended family. Later, as the evening wound down and guests began to leave, Patricia sat beside him on the porch steps. "Robert would be proud of you," she said quietly. "I wish I could thank him," Marcus replied. Patricia smiled, the grief in her eyes now tempered with peace. "You already are, by thriving, by raising that wonderful daughter of yours, by being the man he always knew you could be." As they sat in comfortable silence watching the fireflies emerge in the summer twilight, Marcus reflected on how completely his life had changed. From the brink of financial ruin to stability and hope. From isolation to community. All because a grieving widow had seen value in him when he couldn't see it himself. Sometimes the most profound acts of kindness come from those who are healing their own wounds. Patricia had lost her husband, but in reaching out to help one of his employees, she had found purpose in her grief and created ripples of change that transformed not just Marcus's life, but Lily's future as well. That night, as Marcus tucked Lily into bed in her new room with the bay window she had always dreamed of, she asked sleepily, "Daddy, are you still sad all the time?" Marcus considered the question carefully. "No, sweetheart. Not all the time anymore." "Because of Ms. Patricia?" "Because of many things," he said, smoothing her curls. "But yes, Ms. Patricia helped us remember something very important." "What's that?" Lily yawned. "That sometimes, when you think you're at the end of your story, you're actually just at the beginning of a new chapter." As Lily drifted off to sleep, Marcus stood at her window, looking out at the neighborhood that had welcomed them. In the distance, he could see the lights of the Henderson estate on the hill. A reminder that sometimes, showing up, even when it's the last thing you want to do, even when you feel out of place and unworthy, can be the first step toward changing your life forever. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that reminds us of the power of human connection. Share in the comments a time when an unexpected kindness changed your path, because sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones we live ourselves. Until next time, remember that compassion can transform not just one life, but generations to come.